Well, everybody, welcome back. It's Conor McGilligan here on the second channel, and I just simply had to come out and do a video about this. Look, as a Leeds United fan, it has given me a little bit of hope, and I'm going to start on what we've seen today's proceedings. We're not going to touch on Liverpool, Bournemouth too much. Listen, it is what it is. Liverpool, I think, are going to be exposed, in my opinion, a little bit more this season, but the firepower up top, especially with an addition of Alexander, Isak, I think he's going to give them a massive, almost, we've scored more than you this season, but teams like Chelsea, Manchester City and others are going to, I think, get in between the lines a little bit there. You saw Frimpong, you saw the likes of Kirkes. You never know, at least they've got that backup when it comes to Andy Robertson and potentially Endo right back. But good performance from Liverpool overall, gaps though, so look at the top of the Premier League and let's see how that moves on. Now, we have to talk about, look, Fulham and Brighton expected 1-1 stalemate, both cancelling each other out, both having good chances in that game. But we have to look at the sphere of the promoted teams. And on this channel, we are going to focus a little bit on the newly promoted teams as well. I think it's only fair and it's only right. Okay, Burnley. Now, I want to give a massive shout out to Burnley. Now, I said they would lose. I said they'd lose today 3-0. Got it absolutely spot on. Callum Fowler, my friend, that is 3 points to me in our league table. What I will say, though, overall is Burnley could have got back into that. And it's going to be the same problem with a lot of us this season, if we're being honest, when it comes to the promoted clubs. It is, have we got a number 9 to put the ball into the back of the net? Have we got an efficient player up top to really be able to be clinical? And you need that in this division. It's too ruthless. You need to be clinical when you've got the chances. Burnley could have equalised. They didn't. Tottenham, after a wonderful Richarlison goal, you have to say. Sorry, about to get run over here. Tottenham, after a wonderful Richarlison goal, unfortunately, did what Tottenham will do against the Burnley side. They punished them 2-3 goals, and that was it. That's all she wrote, and that's exactly how I thought it'd go. I didn't think Burnley get battered at all, to be honest with you today. They've got a good structure. They've got a good work ethic. Yes, you've got CJ Egan-Riley. You've got James Trafford. You've obviously got Brownhill, who've moved on, amongst other players. But what I would say about Burnley's shape, and I understand why they effectively went to like a back 5 or a midfield 5. Son, not 100% sure about him, and I'm not sure the Tottenham lad. I'm on about the Norwegian right-sided player. I think what I'd have maybe done in this game in particular is maybe giving you the threat of Marcus Edwards, wide right, but then you've got to bear in mind as well, Marcus Edwards wide right is going to give you something going forward, but if you've got a flat midfield 4, of which is going to be compact against a Tottenham Hotspur side, when you've effectively got 10 at the back, that might be advantageous, but you have to be good on the counter-attack. Burnley weren't good enough, in my opinion, on the counter-attack in the second half. If Edwards maybe would have featured a little bit early on, you might have got that. I would have liked to have seen Hannibal's energy in that midfield as well. I think that was so productive for them in the Championship. So Burnley unlucky today. You chalk that one off. You get anything at Tottenham, you've had a brilliant day out. But it's going to be tough for any of us, any of the promoted teams. Now, wow, I mean, we've still got City and Wolves to come later on, but we do have to talk about the main event. Sunderland giving everybody hope. Now, I have to say, look, I've come back to Manchester. I was in the car watching this game. I thought in the first half, Diarra was outstanding. Habib Diarra, West Ham United, I've mentioned this from the very beginning. I think they will finish in the bottom 3. They are in my bottom 3, and that's kind of given me a bit of indication today. Sullivan is probably going to have to sack at some point. He's going to have to sack Graham Potter. I think that will happen. The reason behind that is I don't think he's got the minerals for the tough, tenacious parts of a season, which I think this league is going to encompass, because I think Burnley are going to be better. I think Leeds will be better. And I think Sunderland are going to be better. So they have to dig in. They might not have the personnel. They're already talking about Plaqueta potentially leaving as well. Are they going to reinvest that money? I thought on the counter-attack against Sunderland, they were absolutely toothless. Missing that pace of Kudus as well. You look at, it was Bowen FC. That game again, and this is what the whole season with West Ham is comprised of. It's Jared Bowen FC. On that counter-attack, it was slow in transition. They were keeping the ball well in the first half. But I thought Sunderland a couple of times got through. I mean, there was a chance earlier on with Meander. He put the ball through the defender's legs. I think it was Kilman. And then you had Diarra, and he should have scored. I thought Siddiqui in there. I saw a thing online that he's Kante with braces. And that made me laugh. But listen, I thought he was very good as well. But Meander, I'm a big fan of Meander. But it was just great to see overall. You saw a variation of goals, and do you know what I loved with Sunderland? They were not afraid to get the ball in that frigging box when it came to Eliza Meander knocking the ball in. Lovely header, of which Hermansen was scrambling. I think he should have got to that, to be honest with you, scrambling across the line. You saw, I mean, what did I call him? What did I call him last season? Thierry Isidore, what a finisher. We're not going in chronological order here. That third goal was just what a finish. I mean, it came up on my phone as Talby scoring, but obviously Isidore putting that ball in the back of that in the far corner. Beautiful finish. But the mid-goal as well, ball into the box again. Dan Ballard, big Dan Ballard. And this is what all the promoted teams have to do. Get the ball into the box and test some of the teams. Test some of the teams in and around the mid-table bracket. Now, when you look at Leeds, for example, I think they might have a tougher game on Monday night when it comes to Everton. I am pitching Everton to be in the upper echelon of the division. I think, Charlie Alcaraz, I think Jack Grealish, I think when you look at, the brilliance of Iliman Ndiaye, Tieno Barry, who's a great prospect going forward, Dewsbury Hall, they've got a lot of firepower, Everton. Moyes has made them strong at the back. Should Moyes have moved on from Everton? That is a question because, the grass isn't always greener. Potter's come in. I just think they look slow. I think they look slow in build-up. I think they look slow in transition. And this is why it's such an important result for Sunderland, because what they've effectively done there is punch West Ham in the mouth. They've given them a Danny Dyer dig. Do you know what I mean? They've given him a dig in the mouth. Green Street elite is no more. And you're looking at it and thinking to yourself, that West Ham team is going to be fighting relegation this season. That's what I've said throughout. I've got a massive respect for West Ham. But I thought Sunderland were well worth the win today. I thought they were strong. I thought, once again, that term in transition, they were good. I thought they were physical in the air. I think they were beating them punch to punch with the aerial assault. I think you looked at the physical profiles of Diarra, of Mienda, of Isidore when he was playing, Siddiqui. I think Talby played all right as well. And I think you were looking at it and you were thinking to yourself, flipping heck, Sunderland are assembling here. I thought Ronaldo was good as well today, especially in that first half. I thought he was good, trying to win a couple of fouls. And they dealt with whatever West Ham had. Now, look, there was a couple of times in that first half where Bowen got shots off and it was saved by the goalkeeper, who I thought he had a good game as well. But Sunderland, the takeaway is the top of the table. Absolutely brilliant for Sunderland. Burnley, dust yourselves off, and I know they will. They'll come back stronger. And I actually thought when I was watching that, because I was doing a bit of a dual watch on the way back, I had two phones on the go. And I genuinely thought, after that Richarlison goal went in, there's a couple of opportunities where Burnley could have got back in it. But look, did Parker set up in the right way? I'm not 100% sure he did, but he was trying to go for a compact Burnley. But I thought Marcus Edwards potentially starting the game against his former club would have been interesting on that transition. As well, you've got to move Hannibal central, I think. I think he's a problem centrally. You put him out wide or left or right, which he's played before in his career and for Burnley. Left or right, I think it's a problem. I think you need him centrally, disrupting, having a bit of energy in and around there. So the two promoted teams, I think there's either side of a 3-0. Spurs you're expecting, and I thought Burnley showed a lot in that game, to be honest with you, and they were unlucky. It's the clinical nature as well. They need a number 9. They just drastically need that number 9. We could have all seen that at the very beginning of the season. Is Armando Broja that number 9? I don't think so. But the key learning here is put the ball into the box. You never know what can happen. And Sunderland have taught the promoted teams that today, especially with Leeds United bringing in Metcher and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, etc., and having good deliverers of the ball. You're expecting them to do something similar. But Sunderland, top of the table. It's good to see, isn't it? Welcome back, SAFC. Burnley, next week. Leeds United, Monday night. We'll wait and see. The promoted teams, it's been an interesting one. Good performance from Burnley. Brilliant from Sunderland. And let's see what Leeds United do on Monday night. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. See you in a bit.